Welcome to Tomorrow Unveiled. Today we're embarking on a really fascinating journey. We're going to explore how technology, especially AI, isn't just evolving anymore.
No, it's fundamentally reshaping, well, pretty much everything in our society.
Exactly. It's this topic that's just constantly buzzing, and it feels like it's shifted from theory to immediate reality.
That's right.
Our dedicated research team has just pulled together some really eye-opening stuff from recent global analyses, and it definitely shows we're at a pivotal moment.
Indeed, the shift is palpable. I mean, what's become really clear is that the conversation, it's moved way beyond just abstract predictions. We're now seeing this unprecedented acceleration in how work, education, even our core economic structures are being actively redesigned by AI.
Wow.
And that brings with it, both these immense opportunities, but also some really significant complex challenges. They demand our attention, basically.
That's a really powerful way to frame it. Like a great rewiring
Of our
world,
yeah.
right? Tucking everything. How we earn a living, how we prep the next generation.
Everything.
So we're going to unpack the key findings. We'll focus on what's been strongly corroborated across multiple recent sources, just to give you a clear, consolidated picture
Get a solid view.
what this tech shift really means for you, whether you're mapping out your career, thinking about education, or, just curious about the future unfolding right now. So let's dive in first, maybe by looking at the job market.
Good place to start.
Because for a lot of people, the immediate fear when you talk AI is, my job's going to disappear.
Yeah.
But the research, it points to something more nuanced, doesn't it?
It really does. More complex.
Suggesting it's less about jobs just vanishing and maybe more about jobs changing, like really changing.
That's the key distinction, yeah. While some jobs are being displaced, that's true, we're also seeing this surge in completely new opportunities. Like, look at recent U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics data. It revealed this pretty significant discrepancy. 991,000 fewer jobs reported initially than they first thought, back in early 2025.
Wow, nearly a million.
Yeah. It suggests AI's impact on employment, on the reality of it, is accelerating faster than the official reports can even capture sometimes. It's subtly shifting things already.
Right.
But look, globally, the World Economic Forum projects that while maybe 92 million jobs could disappear.
Which sounds like a lot.
It does.
Yeah.
But they estimate nearly 170 million new ones will emerge, driven largely by tech itself, and interestingly, the green energy transition, too.
So not zero sum.
Yeah.
More like a big reshuffle.
A dramatic reshuffling, exactly.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. This reshuffling, it's not happening evenly everywhere, is it? Some sectors are feeling, like you said, shockwaves right now.
Definitely not uniform.
Which areas are under the most immediate, intense pressure?
Well, we're seeing big shifts pretty much across the board, but manufacturing and financial services, they're definitely facing the steepest automation pressures right now.
Finance, really.
Yeah.
Beyond just crunching numbers.
Oh, yeah, way beyond. In finance specifically, it's not just automating simple calculations anymore. AI is now tackling increasingly complex cognitive tasks.
Like what?
Things like sophisticated predictive modeling for risk assessment, advanced fraud detection, even using natural language processing to analyze really complex legal contracts.
Okay, so high-level stuff.
Very high level. Wall Street, for example, they anticipate potentially hundreds of thousands of job cuts in banking. Estimates are around, 200,000 in just the next 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
Because of this deeper automation, roles like accountants, credit analysts, even some compliance officers, their day-to-day is being profoundly transformed.
That's a huge shift from the old robot on the assembly line idea.
Mm.
What about healthcare? That always seems like it should be more resistant.
Healthcare is fascinating. It's a perfect example of what we call a dual transformation.
Dual transformation. How so?
Well, on one hand, AI is automating a huge range of administrative tasks. Think scheduling, billing, preliminary data processing. And yes, that can lead to staff reductions in those specific areas.
Okay, the admin side.
But on the other hand, it's also powerfully augmenting clinical roles.
Yeah.
AI diagnostics helping doctors make faster, more accurate diagnoses, streamlining patient data for nurses so they can focus more on complex care.
Right, freeing them up.
Exactly. And crucially, it's also empowering patients themselves, giving them better access to and understanding of their own health data.
God.
That shifts the whole dynamic of care.
So less about replacing doctors and nurses, more about boosting their capabilities.
Precisely. Enhancing human capabilities in those really critical roles.
It's even surprising how creative industries, which we kind of thought were immune, are being reshaped.
Mm.
You hear about roles like AI filmmaker. How does that work? Human-machine collaboration.
Exactly. The creative sector is seeing AI emerge not just as a tool, but sometimes as a genuine co-creator.
Co-creator.
Yeah. An AI filmmaker, for instance, might use AI to generate concept art, storyboard entire scenes, maybe even compose music, or draft initial dialogue.
Okay.
This frees up the human creatives to focus on the higher level stuff narrative, emotional depth, directorial vision. The AI handles the really labor-intensive, iterative tasks.
So human ingenuity can scale in new ways.
Totally. It's a powerful synergy story, you know? The whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. And what's really fascinating here, like across all these sectors, is the rise of what our research points to as an agentic workforce.
Agentic workforce. What does that mean?
It means we're fundamentally shifting how we see AI. It's moving from just being a passive tool we command
Right, like software.
to acting more like a digital worker or an agent. AI that can autonomously set its own goals, plan its own actions, execute complex tasks within certain parameters.
Like an AI assistant that actually does things?
Exactly. Imagine an AI agent proactively managing your calendar. Not just scheduling meetings you tell it to, but anticipating your needs, optimizing your time, maybe even negotiating schedule conflicts for you.
Okay, that's a step change.
It really is, and the most critical skill for us. It's rapidly becoming managing and collaborating with these sophisticated teams made of both human talent and these intelligent AI agents.
So if that's the future of work, this collaborative agentic landscape,
Right.
what does it all mean for us as individuals trying to navigate all this change?
No, that brings up a really important point. The upskilling imperative.
The need to keep learning, basically.
But more than just learning, there's this global consensus now that lifelong learning isn't just a good idea, it's essential, non-negotiable.
Okay.
The OECD, among others, really emphasizes meta-learning, basically learning how to learn. That's becoming the most critical skill.
Learning how to learn. Got it.
Individuals need to proactively cultivate what we're calling a human plus AI professional identity.
Human plus AI.
Yeah. Consciously focusing on developing and leveraging those uniquely human capabilities. Creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, complex problem solving. You know, the areas where AI augments us rather than replaces us.
Finding your unique synergy with the tech.
That's it, exactly.
And economically, though, we're still kind of grappling with this productivity paradox, aren't we?
Mm.
We hear about AI doing amazing things, but it's not always showing up in the big national economic numbers.
That's absolutely right. It's a puzzle. While AI is clearly driving, double-digit productivity gains for individual firms, the early adopters are definitely seeing benefits.
Right, for specific companies.
Yeah. But the aggregate national productivity stats, they haven't really reflected this widespread impact yet.
Why is that, do we think?
Well, our research suggests we're probably in the early stages of what economists call a J-curve.
A J-curve.
Yeah, think of the letter J. You have this initial period where significant investments in a new technology actually incur costs and cause disruption. So returns might be low or even negative in the short term.
Okay, the dip at the start of the J.
Exactly. Before you eventually get this sharp exponential acceleration in growth, the upward sweep of the J. And for AI, this J-curve might be significantly longer and steeper than previous tech revolutions.
Longer and steeper, why?
Because AI integration isn't just about installing new software. It often demands this fundamental re-architecture of business processes, organizational structures, workforce skills.
Right, a total overhaul.
Which incurs huge upfront costs and disruption before those big gains really kick in. However, the Stanford AI Index for 2025, it does show a dramatic acceleration in business adoption.
Oh.
Yeah, 78% of organizations reported using AI in 2024. That's up from 55% the previous year.
That's a big jump.
It is, and it indicates we might be nearing that critical inflection point, moving from the bottom of the J towards that upward curve.
Okay, so the payoff might be coming. It's just taken a while to build a foundation.
Potentially, yes. It seems that way.
It's clear then. The very definition of work is undergoing this seismic shift.
Mm-hmm.
But that immediately brings up a huge challenge. If jobs are changing so fast, how are we equipping, our turds, our students, for this totally new future.
Exactly.
And that takes us right into what some are calling the educational arms race.
Absolutely. It's a perfect term for it. The research team that compiled this information has observed, broadly speaking, three distinct national strategies emerging as countries grapple with preparing their people for an AI-centric future.
Three strategies, I've
And each one reflects different national priorities, different ways of governing.
Right.
So first, you have what you might call America's AI Gambit. This is characterized by massive public-private partnerships.
Like tech companies getting involved.
Heavily involved. The White House AI Task Force, for instance, secured billions in commitments from giants like Google, Microsoft, IBM, Amazon.
Billions. Wow. What are they doing with it?
It's not just cash. It involves providing free AI tools, foundational funding, and extensive training programs specifically aimed at K-12 and higher education.
So getting tools and training out there widely.
Right. The goal seems to be fostering AI literacy quickly across the board and ensuring American competitiveness through broad access and innovation, kind of a market-driven partnership approach.
Okay, that's one model. What's another?
Then in stark contrast, you have China's top-down mandate.
Top-down mandate. Sounds different already.
Very different. It's a centralized, state-driven strategy. Focus is on speed and uniformity. In cities like Hangzhou, for example, AI education is already mandatory for all primary and secondary students.
Mandatory for everyone.
Yep. With a structured curriculum that's systematically rolling out nationwide, this approach really prioritizes state control and rapid deployment, building a tech-proficient workforce from the ground up very quickly.
Speed and control. Got it. And the third strategy?
The third is the European Union's regulatory framework. Their approach, really shown by their landmark AI Act, prioritizes governance above all else.
Governance and rules.
Exactly. Educational AI systems are actually classified as high risk. That means they're subject to rigorous ethical guardrails, really strict data quality requirements, and mandatory human oversight.
So a much more cautious approach.
You could say that. The emphasis is on responsible AI development. It might lead to a more deliberate, maybe slower pace of adoption, but the aim is to ensure AI integration in schools is safe, fair, and aligned with human values.
Fascinating. Three really different philosophies playing out globally. America's partnerships, China's mandate, Europe's regulations.
It really makes you wonder which approach will ultimately build the most resilient AI-ready society, doesn't it?
It really does. But okay, beyond these big national strategies, what's actually changing inside schools right now? What does the classroom of tomorrow, today, actually look like on the ground?
Well, innovations are definitely taking root. Lots of schools are already deploying AI-powered tutoring platforms.
AI tutors.
Yeah, offering personalized instruction tailored to each student's pace and learning style, giving immediate feedback, adaptive content.
That sounds useful.
It can be. We're also seeing the rise of AI teacher assistants. These help educators with tons of administrative tasks, grading, lesson planning, even communicating with parents.
Freeing teachers' time again.
Exactly, letting
Yeah.
them focus on more complex teaching challenges and direct student interaction. However,
There's always a however.
always. The research also highlights some pretty significant challenges. We're seeing really pronounced equity gaps emerging.
How so?
Well, for example, independent schools in the UK, they're apparently 3 times more likely to have a comprehensive AI strategy in place than state-funded schools.
Okay, so a digital divide in AI strategy.
Potentially, yeah. And critically, there's this profound lack of adequate teacher training. Data from the UK suggests that something like 91% of teachers currently using AI, they're self-taught.
91%.
Yeah.
Just figuring it out themselves.
Basically, yes. Which raises huge questions about, effective and responsible integration in the classroom.
Absolutely. That's a massive gap. Okay, if you're finding this insightful, maybe pause for a sec. Please take a moment to like this video if you're on YouTube, subscribe to Tomorrow Unveiled, and maybe consider hitting that new hype button. It helps us reach more viewers.
Definitely.
And of course, turn on notifications so you never miss an update on the future. We'll jump right back in. So, as AI reshapes jobs, reshapes education, it's also inevitably forcing us to reconsider our fundamental societal structures, isn't it?
It really is. You can't change those pillars without impacting the whole building.
And this is where it gets really interesting, I think, as we dive into what some are calling the widening gyre of economic inequality.
Indeed, it's a major concern. The research team that compiled this information, they suggest that without deliberate, proactive policy intervention, AI could significantly exacerbate the income and wealth gaps we already have. Well, Think about where the economic value from automation goes, especially from advanced AI capital. It tends to accrue to the owners of that capital, right?
Corporations, investors.
Exactly. Not necessarily flowing back to the workers who might be displaced or even to the broader population. The IMF projects at AI could affect nearly 40% of jobs globally.
40%. That's huge.
It is. And they also suggest that advanced economies might be better equipped to manage this transition because they tend to have stronger social safety nets, better educational infrastructure already.
Which means the gap between rich and poor countries could also widen.
Potentially, yes. Widening global inequality, creating this divide between those who own or control AI and those whose labor maybe gets devalued or made redundant.
Okay, so that reality or that potential reality leads us straight into this clash of ideas, right? The abundance agenda versus the social safety net. Two competing visions for the future.
Absolutely. And it's a fundamental ideological clash, really. On one side, you have proponents of what's been called the abundance agenda.
What's their argument?
They champion deregulation, market-led innovation. The argument is basically remove barriers, let AI's efficiency and generative power loose, and it will unleash unprecedented prosperity. A world of material abundance for, well, theoretically everyone eventually.
Okay, the free market approach.
Pretty much. Conversely, there's this growing, powerful call for strengthening the social safety net to ensure AI's gains are actually shared broadly.
And that's where ideas like UBI come in, universal basic income.
UBI is definitely the most prominent proposal there. But the discussion also includes ideas like universal basic capital mechanisms designed to give everyone a stake, some ownership in the AI-driven economy.
Interesting. But the debate isn't just if we do something like UBI, is it? It's how.
Exactly. How would it be funded? A robot tax?
Right.
A data dividend? Would it require a totally restructured social contract? And critically, how do you prevent UBI from just becoming a bare minimum subsistence level in a world where AI could theoretically unlock extraordinary abundance? These are huge, complex questions.
Absolutely huge. But underlying all of this, the jobs, the education, the inequality debates, there's this critical, maybe often overlooked, constraint. The unseen constraint of energy.
Ah, yes. This is so important and ties directly into the feasibility of this whole AI revolution.
It's not just software, is it?
Not at all. The AI revolution isn't just soft tech, algorithms, and code. It's profoundly hard tech.
Yeah.
Our research reveals the immense physical footprint required.
Like data centers.
Colossal data centers, advanced cooling systems, and this unprecedented, almost insatiable demand for electricity.
How much electricity are we talking?
The IMF, for instance, warns that global electricity consumption just by data centers could triple by 2030. Triple, potentially equaling India's total current electricity consumption just for data centers.
That was staggering.
It is, and it's not just a technical detail. This creates a direct, undeniable conflict with global climate goals.
Yeah. How do you power all that sustainably?
Exactly. And it fundamentally transforms the AI race into a fierce competition for energy resources and robust infrastructure. This has profound geopolitical implications that we're only just beginning to grasp.
Nations competing for the power to run AI.
Essentially, yes. It adds a whole new, very physical dimension to the AI race.
Wow. Okay, what a journey through FutureProofed, how tech is changing society here on Tomorrow Unveiled.
Right.
We've really taken a deep dive, haven't we?
We really have. Covered a lot of ground.
Seeing how AI isn't just changing jobs, it's creating whole new ones, forcing this rapid upskilling imperative, sparking that global educational arms race with these really diverse national strategies.
And as we discussed, these huge shifts, they're exposing deep fault lines in our social contract, aren't they? Pushing these intense debates around inequality, the nature of abundance itself in an AI world. But I think the important takeaway is that the ultimate impact of AI, it's not predetermined. It really depends critically on the choices we make now.
Right.
From individual learning paths to national infrastructure investments to the policy decisions we make about fairness and distribution.
Exactly. And the research team that compiled all this information, they really emphasize proactive adaptation strategies across all levels.
Makes sense.
For us as individuals, it's about embracing that meta-learning, developing that resilient human plus AI professional identity, leveraging our unique human strengths.
Right.
For organizations, it means boldly redesigning work, making continuous learning a core business function, not an afterthought.
Absolutely critical for businesses.
And for policymakers,
Wow.
it involves crafting a new social contract, doesn't it? Thoughtfully balancing innovation with inclusion ensuring that robust national AI infrastructure and energy resources are treated as a top priority.
It really touches every level of society.
It does. So maybe this all boils down to one provocative thought for you, our listener, to consider.
Okay, let's hear it.
In a world being so rapidly reshaped by AI, is the greatest future-proofing challenge really technological? Or is it fundamentally human? Our collective ability to adapt, to collaborate, and maybe most importantly, to choose shared prosperity over concentrated abundance.
That's a powerful thought to end on. Is the bottleneck the tech, or is it us?
Powerful thought,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say?
Eh.
We absolutely love hearing your thoughts. Whether you're on YouTube or your favorite podcast app, please leave a comment and let us know what you think about how tech is changing society. And if you are listening on a podcast service like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we'd be incredibly grateful if you could leave us a rating and review for Tomorrow Unveiled. It truly, truly helps us reach new listeners.
It really does.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the future, and we'll catch you next time on Tomorrow Unveiled.